Hey everybody. Hi, it's Shelly Hoffman, and I'm here with the weekly update with our Mayor, Dick Clarke. But as you can see, we have another pretty face with us today, and that's Lizzy Martin. She's a resident of the village, but she's also a huge part of the Baldwinsville Rotary Club that we have. And she's got some information for us. I believe she's going to share at some point too. So welcome both of you. I'm kind of excited. It's been a while since I've had more than one person to talk to. Closer, right?
Sensory overload.
So, Mayor, how have you been since we spoke last week?
Very good, very good. A nice haircut. My wife trimmed it up last night. I'm ready to go. It's nice coincidence that the number one item on my list for this week is the Rotary Sidewalk Challenge, and we've got the inside information here. So, Lizzy, what can you tell people about it? We've talked about it a little bit last week, but kind of sketchy. You're no pun intended. Give us a little heads up on what's going on with the sidewalk chalk drawing.
Yeah, sure. Well, first, Mayor, I'd like to thank you for collaborating with us and offering up some space in the village for anybody who doesn't have a driveway or sidewalk at home to do their artwork on. So thank you for that. I know we have to be very careful about how we do events right now so that everybody remains safe, and this was a great compromise. So our Sidewalk Chalk event is off and running. It's a contest for our community to participate in, free for everybody to do, as long as you have some sidewalk chalk and some space to draw. And we're encouraging everybody to do their best artwork, take a photo, submit it to the contest, and then try and get as many votes as they can. We're offering 3 prizes for our 3 age groups, and we'll have Rotarians be the judges for those. But then we also have our Community Choice Award, and that's the artwork that gets the most votes. And they'll get $200 to their favorite charity. We have 8 entries so far, and it's just the first weekend. I'm hoping we'll get a lot more because we're going to have awesome weather for the rest of this week. You have until next Wednesday to submit your artwork and get your votes. And you can have your parents, or if you are the parent submitting it, share that on your Facebook page and ask everybody to go vote for you. Some of the artwork has lots of votes already, which is really exciting. We've had over 250 votes so far. Nice. But it's just a fun event that Rotary wanted to put together. We know a lot of people's normal summer plans were sidelined, and that this would just be something fun and to give everybody something that they can do to be creative and be outdoors and just have a good time and maybe win something.
Nice. I do have a couple of questions that I was asked. So if you don't have a driveway, or you're kind of in the outskirts, like maybe off of Lamson Road or somewhere, obviously it's an online, so you can take a picture of it. But if you have gravel in your driveway, didn't I read something that maybe you could go somewhere in the village or another location? Is that correct?
Yeah, if you go on our website, baldwinsvillerotary.org, you'll see a big banner saying Sidewalk Chalk Contest Info here. Click on that. And that's our page, which has everything you need to know. And there's a form on there along the right-hand side of the page where you can request space in the village. And that'll send an email to us, and we'll let you know exactly where you can go, where it'll be a safe place for you to take a square of the sidewalk and do your artwork.
Very nice. Yeah. I'm kind of excited, and she's right in thanking you, Mayor, because obviously it's one thing if we can draw on our private property, but to be able to use the village as well for people that don't have the space, that's nice of the village to take part in.
Yeah.
Well, I was very excited about the fact that we've now had this. We told somebody they could use sidewalk in Village Square, so that will be 2 things in a row that have been going on in the square with the haiku contest, and now some drawing, possibly being down there. And that's what the square is there for people to use it. And this is a great situation to take advantage of it. Now, I had one question. If there's no theme as far as what people have to draw?
No, I mean, we're encouraging everyone to draw whatever their heart desires, maybe something inspirational. If you're connected to your charity, so some of the charities we've had chosen so far include causes like suicide prevention and animal rescue, and even our local ambulance corps. So if your drawing is connected to that, maybe that'll help you earn some more votes. And we're also encouraging businesses, local businesses, to participate, and they could draw something that represents what they do in our community, what services or products they have as a business, and sort of promote themselves a little bit in their artwork.
Great.
Is that a separate category as far as judging then, if a business takes part in it, or is it just no competition there, just a participation trophy, as we like to say?
Yeah, no competition for the businesses. Sorry, guys. But we still would love to see their artwork, and it's a great opportunity for them just to promote themselves, and it's something fun for them to share on their social media too. But no, we won't. We asked them to use the family category for their age group, but we won't be judging theirs.
Okay, good, because I may draw something in front of mine, but I don't want to be judged.
Don't want to be judged.
My sick
I don't
people,
want to be
you know. Speaking of not being judged, I know, Lizzy, you have other things you need to do today, but I want to mention, while I have someone else to smile with me, I saw, Mayor, that you did go down to Paper Mill Island for the Zumba this past weekend. You made a guest appearance down there.
I did, and that was another thing that I was happy. I think I put something on Facebook about it. Was nice to hear music on the island again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my sister's fanatical with her Zumba. You know, it's like 3-4 times a week, but it was great to go over because they're so excited, so enthusiastic. You know, there are about 5 or 6 instructors up on the stage, and probably 20 to 25 people out in that paved area. But they were spread out nice, getting a great workout. It was beautiful on the island. You know, nice breeze blowing. Nothing more beautiful in our village than the island. You know, nice weather, and so. I like to go over and just let them know that we're paying attention, that you know, as a village rep, I'm excited to see something going on out there. You know, I'm happy that there's church on the island on Sunday mornings. Disappointed we can't use it for more stuff. But so all these events give our people in our village something to do that's a little bit like they used to do in the summer times, and the more the merrier. And I've got a couple that I'll mention a little later, things that are possible happening a little later. So
Nice.
It's nice that people are thinking outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, the reason I mentioned before Lizzy left is because just to show people that the community's open to doing things. Sometimes it's just, you know, brainstorming together and finding the different ways of doing it. But this village is always coming to life. So I'm a little biased because, as most people know, I am a member of Rotary. So I think the organization is great, but the Lions Club with the swings and just, you know, all these different organizations, they're just contributing to make the village a great place to live. You know, all 3 of us are residents of the village, but even if you don't live here, you can take advantage of what's happening, you know, in the village if you live close by. So is there anything else you want to add, Lizzy, before I know you have other things, you know, work maybe that you have to do?
I don't want to take up your whole interview today, so thank you so much for having me. I would just say connect with Baldwinsville Rotary on Facebook and visit our website, baldwinsvillerotary.org. All in one place. You enter to win, view the contestants, and submit your votes for your favorite.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Lizzy. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks. Have a great day, guys.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was a nice little pleasant surprise to our weekly interview.
Yeah, that was great because that, rather than me guessing on what to say about it, we had somebody who could, you know, right from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And you're right. We have great people in our village who are. I know the groups are constantly trying to think of what can we do that will get people out of their house safely.
Yeah.
That might take their mind off the fact that they didn't get to go on vacation this year, or they, you know, they didn't get to have their friends come in from out of town because they're in one of the bad states or something. You know, for those people who are observing some of that kind of stuff, it does get a little bit long and tiresome. And so this kind of stuff helps. Even if you don't participate, but just drive around and say, oh, let's see if we can spot any of the drawings, or let's go down and look at the haiku thing. Or
Yep.
There were a couple other people on the island Saturday with a Zumba. I don't know if they knew it was there or if they just happened to stop by to go on the island, but they were walking around, and you know, you could see them watching and smiling, like it was nice to see people My Cindy said they go over to Woods Road in Salve fairly regularly. It's right between the Geddes Town Hall and the Salve Village Hall. There's a park. And she said that the people in the neighborhood will come out on the porch and wave to everybody. And, you know, it's an older neighborhood. And that they kind of get a kick out of seeing people out there jumping around and having fun. So you do good for yourself, but you're helping somebody else too, really. So you survived your party.
I did.
That was nice.
I had a little bit of live music myself for the send off to the kids going to college. My son leaves tomorrow. My girlfriend, her daughter leaves the beginning of next week. So we had Dirt Road Ruckus play, and it was nice. It was fun. It was small, you know, to have the live music. It was either have more people kind of distance or have a small party with live music. And the kids said, let's do the music in small. So that's what we did.
Good.
It's nice.
All right, we got a few things to report. Court did open up last Wednesday. I checked with Cheryl, the court clerk, and she said that 13 people show up. Really no major glitches. A couple people brought their kids and found out they couldn't bring their kids in the building with them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they handled it, if there was somebody waiting for them out in the car and they were able to put the kids back out there. Just a reminder to people, if you go, it's you. It's not, don't bring your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your neighbor, you know, for moral support, because they're not going to be able to get in.
Okay.
And particularly don't bring young kids who then you got no place to leave them, and, you know, go sit them in the car while you're inside or something. That's not very prudent. And there was one person who gave the screener a little bit of a hard time about not having a mask. And then when our police officer came over and said, well, you either put a mask on or you'll leave, then he reached in his back pocket and pulled out a mask and put it on. So please, you know, this is not a game. Just wear a mask. We do have some sanitizers inside. We ask people to clean their hands. Don't bring extra people with you.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes this next week.
So can I ask, Mayor, if somebody did bring their child and and they didn't have anybody else to watch, do they have to just get another court date then? Is that how that works?
I don't know how that worked out. I didn't have a lot of time to ask Cheryl what actually happened. She just was kind of disturbed that they had, you know, everybody had been told not to bring anybody with them other than their attorney. And so they're on edge a little bit too, for the first time. So tonight they'll have court again, and we'll see if it goes a little smoother. But it didn't, as far as the actual court stuff, I guess everything went fine. Well, there we go.
That was my dog.
Your dog is going crazy. I talked to Steve D'Arcangelo yesterday at DPW just to see what was going on. This was brush week, and so there won't be any next week. Some things happen. You may see some work going on at the intersections of, let's see, Tappan Street and Canton Street, Tappan Street and McCary Street, and Frawley and Downer, I believe. We've got a grant from Community Development to upgrade some intersections to make for safer crossings and that type of stuff. So you may see some people out working, and, you know, right away everybody go, oh, you know, you'll see on Facebook, we saw people working, what's happening? So there are some crosswalk improvements in the works, underway. The senior center, the flooring was ordered. It was supposed to come in the beginning of the week, and they were going to install it. It didn't come in. So Steve figured by the same time next week, the floor at the senior center should be installed, which is a big move. That's another community development grant. And then they're putting up a divider wall. The wall's not going to be in for a couple weeks, but the guy who's putting it up is going to be in shortly to put up the thing to hang the wall that runs across the ceiling so you can slide it. He'll be installing that, the track, I guess it's called.
Yep.
So that will be in place when the door shows up. And so when we get to the point where seniors can be back in the building, whenever that might be, they're going to be treated nice to a new floor, a new door. And I hope they understand it. it's because we value the senior center and wanted to stay nice, and we are fortunate that when we apply for community development grants, senior centers are very high on the list. If you we've done 2 or 3 major, we put insulation in the ceiling, spray insulation. They replaced some exterior doors. The community development people find that that senior centers they fall into the income level type of thing, and also the purpose of the center. So while I'm on the seniors, that subject, I just wanted to point out, Ruth Troy had said that she had talked to a guy named Larry Matthews at the Office for Aging, because they're trying to keep transportation available for seniors who need to go to a doctor's appointment, or maybe see an attorney and they don't have any way to get there. And so transportation is available through the county, but you can call the senior center to get to the right place. And during the conversation, he repeated something he had told her before, and she just had forgotten. And he said, if you're going to be old, if you're going to be a senior citizen, then you want to move to Baldwinsville.
Aw, that's nice.
And then, as Ruth pointed out, it's not just the senior center. It's other things in the village that seniors benefit from. The sidewalk program, the parks. Our police department is, top notch, always looking out for the seniors. So it's nice when somebody outside our village says something like that, and notices that for years we have done things to support seniors, and we support young kids. I mean, we have Little League and we have Pop Warner, and we have all kinds of stuff for kids too. But seniors have less options sometimes, and so it's nice to hear somebody recognize that the village has maybe done its job looking out for our older population. Steve also pointed out that our Dome Well, which you can see if you drive west on 370 out by River Bend in that area, we're upgrading some of the structure, fixing some masonry, and maybe insulating the door and that type of stuff. And there's been a little bit of activity with the Main Street. We've part of our project, which is the strip basically from the Four Corners to the library. There's going to be some sidewalk replacement. There's going to be some benches. There's going to be some old-fashioned street lights like you see along River Street. It's been a little slow going. Everything's been slow going because, first of all, nobody knew if anything was going to happen. So they were a little reluctant to go too fast. And now it's hard to find contractors, as we've talked about before. So, but we are progressing, and hopefully most of it will get done this year. I'm hopeful that the county will understand. I mean, they have to understand the financial situation that some people are in, and also the trouble with trying to find people to do the work.
Do you feel, and obviously this is but do you feel that if the businesses that were awarded the grant, and obviously, the sidewalks and stuff, if the work is getting done, the county, you guys do feel strongly that the county will still release the grant money to help with that work?
They have said they will. The money that they have is not in their regular budget. It was from the sale of their water system to Aqua, and money was put into a special account. And Ryan McMahon has said the money will be there.
Okay.
He's been pretty great.
Brian Mason will be talking to me in the next couple of weeks, and we haven't pinpointed a time yet, but I will let people know. But that's one of the topics he was going to talk about as well, is the Main Street grant money. So we'll see what he does.
Just some reminders, some things at the DPW. Tomorrow at 3, George Leah concert outside. Bring your own chairs.
Nice.
Wear a mask. Next Tuesday is the library day. If you want to a book or two from the library, or if you're bringing some back, call the center. Lorraine Melita, our librarian, will be there, also a member of the class of 1964 in Baldwinsville. I graduated with Lorraine. And she was a librarian at Cortland State for many years. And she's the librarian at the senior center. So she will, if you tell her, I want a book by John Grisham, I want a book by Stephen King, which book do you want? She'll have them ready for you when you pull up. So call the center and get involved with the library. The ice cream giveaway is next Wednesday at 2 o'clock. That's drive up. You'll get an ice cream for everybody, each senior in the car. It'll be a chance. It's free ice cream and a chance to see the people from the center. This is another chance for Ruth and Joni and whoever to see people. Okay, we hadn't seen them in a while. Looks like they're okay. It's another chance to have contact. People were concerned about not being able to meet with the outreach worker because the building's not open, but Nancy has been meeting with people in the pavilion. So if you absolutely need to sit down and talk with her, if you need her to help you fill out a form, that type of thing, she'll set up an appointment with you and meet you out in the pavilion. And that will, for the time being, that's the way things will get done, but it's better than nothing.
Correct.
So that's everything at Canton Woods. Everything going normal with police and codes, just getting on with the getting on.
I will say, Mayor, real quick, just kudos to the codes. Greg Humphrey I had a resident I was talking to that decided to get a pool. And as you know, we've talked about this before. If you want something like that, you're almost waiting until next year, because everyone's so backed up. And they had an opening, reached out to a village resident and said, hey, if we can do it this week, we actually can. And they got a hold of Greg and he was able to get them the permits and stuff that they needed. So I thought that was great because it's one thing if the company's willing to do it, but you also have to have all the things you need from the village end too. Yep. So they were really happy with Greg and the codes department, or with getting the permit and everything kind of in a timely way so that they could take advantage of that opening. So
that's always great to hear that people have good results. And Greg's terrific. He understands that kind of stuff. So that's really good to hear though. Chamber of Commerce Business Person of the Year nominations are due. Deadline is a week from Friday. Okay. It's somebody that's a member of the chamber, and contact the chamber with your nomination and see what happens with that. And it's always nice to see our local business people being recognized, and maybe there ought to be more than one, but because we have a lot of good business people. But it is one, and that's what we got. A couple possibilities for things that might be happening. Tony Birkinshaw has sent out a flyer for the window painting.
Yes.
For Halloween. I ran it by the chief. Saw no, that was not the one I ran. I'm going to run by the chief, but I think they're doing everything social distancing, and they're not going to do like two windows next to each other.
Okay.
Them out all over. So they're asking businesses if you're willing to have your window painted to contact Tony Birkinshaw at the Lysander Parks and Rec Department.
And they did send out, Mayor, people who had participated in the past. So this past week, I got a letter. So if you did participate in the past, you will get a letter asking you to participate again. And if you didn't participate, or you're a new business, or you just want information about it, it's a great program. It's just like the Sidewalk chalk contest. It's a way to bring life to the community. And it's the kids that do the paintings, and they do a wonderful job.
Yeah. So the painting will take place on October 24th from 10 until 1.
Okay.
And then on November 1st, there's a group of volunteers that will go in and clean people's windows off. So used to be sometimes the business people had to clean up the windows afterwards, and they weren't too happy about that.
Yeah.
So that's not even going to be an issue anymore. Again, it's been a tradition since I've lived in the village, I think. When I've been here for 60 years, plus, and it's really cool on that day to drive through or walk through downtown and see all the little clusters of brother and sister, and one of them's painting up. He's taller, so he's painting the sky, and she's down low painting the house and the haunted house. And some of the stuff that they come up with is quite artistic,
Yeah.
And some of it's just got some color. It just brightens up the village. I think it's something nice for people to look forward to. I'll run this by our board Thursday just to make sure everything is fine with them, but I don't see whether the chief or them will have an issue. The other thing, I got a letter from a friend who was very involved with the Relay for Life for a number of years, and that's kind of gone by the wayside. I think they were doing it just at the fairgrounds, just one event instead of in each community. And then last year she went to Washington, and they had a big one on the mall where they put them all along the edge of the water. And then as it got dark, it was reflecting off the water with the Capitol in the background.
Oh, nice.
It was very nice. And so she would like to do it in Baldwinsville because the one in Washington has been said you can't do it. Too many people. So she's hoping on September 12th to have the luminaries where people decorate a bag in honor of somebody who's lost their life to cancer, and you get it to Anne Marie, and she's going to place them out there. She doesn't think there'd be more than a dozen to 20 people that will be involved. They're going to put it on. They'd like to put it on Paper Mill Island,
Oh, pretty.
along the edge of the water, so that people on River Street, maybe coming over the bridge, people on Tappan Street can look through and when it gets dark and see these things. And then she said she would clean them up that night and get them out of there. So I did get the okay from the chief, so no problem with this. I'll run this by the board tomorrow night at our meeting. But again, now we're talking about, luminaries, which are, it's sad, but it's upbeat for people to remember somebody they lost with a symbol like this. And then the window painting, again, some things that take your mind off today, keep you busy. I didn't have anything else.
Well, as always, you have quite a bit that's going on and happening, which is just great. I was thinking when you were going over the list of what was happening at Canton Woods, the conversations we were having back in April, where there wasn't anything going on.
Right.
So even though I think that's probably the one big piece of Baldwinsville that still doesn't feel normal yet, and listening to what they were doing, to what they couldn't do, to what they're doing now. But when you look back and see everything they're able to do right now, that really is a lot of progression. And each week they just get a little bit more creative. But it would be nice to know when they can open back up. But I don't think we're going to know that for quite a while.
No, and if they do open, it's going to be very limited. It's not going to be, they're probably not going to encourage people to come in and hang out all day. And there are, believe it or not, people would say, no, nobody's going to do that. But there are people who come over in the morning and sit and watch people play pool, have lunch, maybe play cards in the afternoon, maybe hang out, visit, just because they live alone. And this is a chance for them to be around people. And, everybody's kidding everybody, hey, Freddie, hey, Joe, what's new? And, you walk in, somebody might be sleeping in an easy chair, taking a nap. And it was like a club where they could go and just be around people, which is, when you check with the senior type leaders, they'll tell you that's huge, because that keeps them out of nursing homes. And when you talk about expenses, a lot more expensive to pay for somebody to live in a nursing home than if they're living in, like an apartment and you're subsidizing them. So they've done a great job of keeping track of people. The outreach worker and the express coordinator have spent quite a bit of this time on a regular basis calling people, just saying, hey, Shelley, how you been? you need anything, you okay? And sometimes just hearing a voice I think is good for them, but also can be, oh, I haven't gotten my prescription and I don't know what I should do. And now they're the right people to help them. So it's great that they've been on board. The hard part is looking ahead. I said to Ruth yesterday, you can do this stuff up until like October, but Nancy can't be meeting people in the pavilion on November 15th when it's 41 degrees and raining. I mean, eventually that plays
Right.
up and it doesn't work. So hopefully that they will set up something where that they can meet somewhere where they both have masks on, they're in a corner of the building away from anybody. At least people can come in to get forms. I don't know if they would do lunch, finally put it back inside. They've got a big enough room. You could have 10 tables and nobody would be within 20 feet of each other. I don't know.
No.
That obviously we know that's the endangered group when it comes to this virus, and
Well, yeah.
certainly
So,
don't want to cluster.
I also think that, and again, this is just, us talking, but I think that the kids going back to school and the kids going back to college and waiting and seeing how those groups handle going back in those types of settings will come into play with how we open up senior centers and other, and other key pieces of the community that haven't been opened yet, or they're hesitant to open. So,
You're right.
all right. Mm-hmm. Well, as always, a lot of good information. I just, again, smiling because it was nice to have Lizzy, on. And if anybody's watching this and you have something that you want to bring to the community, you can reach out to me to do your own separate type of a talk like this. Or at the same time, you can join the mayor and I for a conversation. We definitely welcome anybody, that has something that's key to the community and they want to help spread that message. So, but enjoy the rest of your week. And I will talk to you next week.
Okay, Shelley, have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.